The Malin Kundang folktale originates from the province of West Sumatra, precisely in the village of Air Manis, flanked by Pisang Besar and Pisang Kecil islands. Now, Air Manis Beach, located in the village, is one of the popular tourist destinations in Padang. This story tells of a child who disobeyed his mother, though he was cursed to become stone. The story of Malin Kundang is very popular, so it has been adapted into many other art forms. Starting from the drama entitled Malin Kundang by Wisran Hadi in 1978, a soap opera with the same title in 2005 till 2006, an online game designed by IAI and Surakarta, which has released in 2016 to becoming the theme of the musical in Rumah Aja, which was worked on by Indonesia Kaya. In addition, this legendary story also inspired artists Dasril Bayraz and even Zane Usman to create stone reliefs in the form of ship fragments and human figures depicting Malin Kundang. This work is located on Air Manis Beach and has been a tourist attraction since 1980s. The story focuses on two main characters, Malin Kundang and Ibu Mande. As the main characters, Malin Kundang undergoes character development that successfully amazed the audience. Starting from a child who is obedient to his parents, Malin changed drastically into an arrogant and disobedient figure. Ibu Mande is depicted as a patient and hard-working mother. Other supporting roles, such as Malin's wife and the people from his new life, are depicted as neutral characters even though they do not know the truth about Malin's story. Once upon a time, in a fishing village in Air Manis, West Sumatra, there lived a family of fishermen. Due to the family's financial needs, the father finally decided to go to work across the ocean. However, the father never returned to the village and left his wife, Mande Rubaya. The wife embraced their son, Malin, alone. By his mother, Malin was often invited, taken everywhere. Therefore, the child was given a nickname, Malin Kundang. Malin grew up as a smart child, but a little naughty. Malin often chased chickens and hit them with a broom. One day, when Malin was chasing chickens, Malin fell and hit his head on a rock. The wound left a mark on his arm. Growing up, Malin felt sorry for his mother, who had to struggle to support them, so he intended to go abroad with a merchant ship. When he told her about his intention, his mother didn't allow Malin to go. Mother Mande was not willing to be left by her only child. Mother Mande was also afraid that Malin would be like his father, who left and never returned to the village. Although his mother refused, Malin did not stop persuading her. Seeing Malin's persistence, Mother Mande allowed him to go, although with a heavy heart. After convincing his mother that he would be fine, Malin said goodbye and left Mother Mande alone in the village. While sailing on his journey, a bad incident happened to the ship that Malin was on, so that he was stranded on the beach. The villager on the beach will come and help Malin to live and work there. Malin worked very diligently, cultivating the fertile village land, and became increasingly successful. Malin had 100 workers and a number of his own trading ships. After successfully becoming rich, Malin married the daughter of the wealthy merchant. Meanwhile, Mother Mande never received any news from Malin after his departure. For years, Mother Mande could only look at the sea while praying that her son would be safe and send news, or even return to the village. Every time a large ship docks in the village, Mrs. Mande always asked the captain and crew about her son. However, no one ever brought news or a message from Malin. Once upon a time, Malin, his wife, and several crew members went sailing on a large ship. After sailing for a while, the ship anchored at an island. Unbeknownst to them, it turned out to be Malin's hometown. Seeing the large ship anchor, the villagers, including Mrs. Mande, gathered on the shore. They wanted to welcome the ship that they thought belonged to a sultan or prince. From a distance, a pair of young men and women were standing on the bridge, wearing luxurious clothes. Mrs. Mande saw and realized that this young man was Malin. As soon as the ship anchored, the two young men got off the ship. Mrs. Mande ran to her son. Up close, Mrs. Mande saw the scar on the young man's arm and became increasingly convinced that the young man was Malin. She then hugged Malin, calling his name and asking how he was. Malin's wife was standing near Malin, was shocked to see an old woman dressed in rags hugging her husband while claiming to be his mother. Understandably, all this time, Malin claimed that both of his parents were nobles and had died. Malin's wife then asked Malin about who the woman really was. Because he was ashamed of his wife, Malin then pushed his mother and said rudely to Madame Mande. Malin did not acknowledge her as his mother and said that his mother was not like Mother Mande, who was dirty and poor. After that, Malin ordered his wife and men to hurry back to the ship to sail, crying and heartbroken until she fainted. After finally regaining consciousness, Mrs. Mande lived alone on the beach, and the villager who had been busy had left her. Mrs. Mande also saw that Malin and his wife's ship had sailed far from the beach. While crying, Mrs. Mande knelt down and raised her hands to pray to God. Mrs. Mande prayed that if the young man was not Malin Kundang, Mrs. Mande would forgive his actions. However, if the young man was indeed Malin Kundang, then Mrs. Mande cursed him to become stone. After Madame Mande prayed, the sky that was previously bright suddenly turned dark. Heavy rain and storms appeared. Malin's ship that was sailing was shattered into pieces by lightning. The next day, when the storm had subsided, the wreckage of the ship that had turned into rocks was swept away the waves to an island. Among the wreck that washed up on the beach, there was a rock shaped like a human body bowing down, along with a cobbe's mullet and mackerel swimming between the rocks. Local people believe that the stone is Malin's body, which was cursed to turn into stone because he was disobedient to his mother. And the fish around it is pieces of Malin's wife's body were looking for her husband. The main lesson contained in the Malin Kundang story is that a child must always respect the parents who have raised him. In addition, another lesson that can be learned is that we must always be humble and not arrogant with all the success that has been achieved. Finally, we must also always be honest in our actions, because lies or cheating that is done will definitely be revealed later. Just like Malin, who lied about his parents' background and finally became disobedient because he was ashamed of his own lies. The story of Malin Kundang is a traditional Indonesian folktale passed down through generations to teach important moral lessons about respect, gratitude, and humility. While the Malin Kundang stone formation exists on the coast of Padang, there's no historical evidence that Malin Kundang was a real person. The legend continues to be cherished as part of Indonesia's rich cultural heritage. This is the traditional story of Malin Kundang. See you on the next video.